Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for August 12th. We are looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This pair closed down on Friday, still moving sideways. Didn't really break out of a high or a low. Still looking for it to break out from this sideways action. So currently moving sideways, closed down. Look for it to potentially go as high as 78.90, possibly as low as 77.82. Look for some resistance around 78.75. And look for some support around 78.15. Now going over to the Euro USD pair. This pair closed down on Friday, had a very long tail on it, but pulled back significantly prior to the close. We're getting very close to a long-term trend line. If we get a break of that or a close below it, actually we could see the long-term trend change from being a little bit bullish to bearish. So next session is going to tell a lot. If we get a strong day to the upside, as we did here and here, at that point the upward trend is still continuing. So we definitely need to keep an eye on that. We are looking for it to potentially go up to 123.63, possibly moving down to 121.77. Look for some resistance around 123.50 and look for some support around 122.25. Closed down, moving sideways, biased, biased is to the upside currently. Now looking at the pound US dollar pair, this pair continues to consolidate long term, looking for it to break out in one direction or the other. I think when it does, we're going to get a strong trend. So definitely keep an eye on this pair. We are looking for it to potentially go as high as 157.88 and possibly as low as 155.17. Look for some resistance around 157.25 and look for some support around 156.05. Now the US Swiss, this pair closed higher but had a strong move to the upside, pulled significantly back prior to closing. We are looking for it to potentially go as high as 0.9836, possibly as low as 0.9660. Look for some resistance around 0.9805 and look for some support around 0.9685. Okay, now as far as news analysis go, we do have the Japanese releasing their gross domestic product annualized at 9:50 p.m. tonight. No significant news being released on Monday. Consensus on this one is that it has dropped from 4.7% down to 2.3%, which would be bad news for the Japanese yen if those numbers do in fact drop to that point, or even drop further, which would be even more significant. So definitely keep an eye on that. Could move the Japanese yen when that's released. Okay, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, looking at the Euro USD pair, like I said earlier, this pair overall has been moving. Let me back out a little ways. Long term, let me go to the 4 hour. Over the past week or two, we've been in an uptrend. It hasn't been a super strong one, super clean one, but nonetheless, it's still been moving higher. We have gotten fairly close to that point, depending on where you draw your line. Had a long day on Friday, a strong move down to this line or close to it, came within about 25 pips of it, and then we pulled back significantly prior to the close. Not really a gap, only a couple pip gap at the open. So what am I looking for during this next session? Well, let me zoom in a little bit. The fact that we've come down and almost tagged that means we could be in a potential reversal. We're basically at a point of decision as we were in this area. We're either going to get a strong move over this next session to the upside, or it's going to come on down and close below this line. If it closes below this line, of course at that point we can look for it to move much lower, and basically the long-term bulls have turned over to bearish and we should be heading lower. If we get a break above the 123.15 mark during this session, we could see it come on up into this range to the 123 75, being able to pull about 50 pips out of that market while risking about the same. So risking about a 1-to-1 on that one from that point. Currently about 25 pips from the market, and using a 50 pip stop loss would put us right about here, which is well below the 0-0 mark. So if it does move higher, we'll be above the 12300 and see it move 50 pips up. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. So that is what I'm looking for during this next session. Basically, a break to the upside to grab 50, or a clear decision at the close that it is reversed as far as overall direction and we are moving lower. At that point, I'll start looking for shorts. I hope that helps, and until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.